You say he kicked the door in?
He did.
How long has he been paralyzed for?
And have been for 25 years.
It's too late.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So this might be one of the dumbest arrest stories I've seen in a long time, considering that I do cover a lot of dumb stuff for a living. Picture this, a man who literally can't move his two legs, have been paralyzed for over 2 decades, has been accused of kicking in a door, running into a house, and choking someone out like he's Jason Bourne. The big problem is that he is in a wheelchair. This might have been the end of the story right there, case closed. Thanks for the time, sir, sorry for the mix up. But nah, instead, this man gets a warrant, gets cuffed, gets dropped on the floor because he warned them that he couldn't stand, and gets treated like he faked being paralyzed to dodge the charges. And the worst part, the woman accusing him has a history of making false police reports, and the cops didn't even bother to check. So buckle up, this is the story of how the justice system tries to rewrite physics, ignore facts, and treat a disabled man like he was doing WWE stunts from his wheelchair. Let's get into it.
News now at 7. A Metro Atlanta Police Department now under fire for how it investigated an alleged attack and home invasion.
So what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out.
An Atlanta News First investigation uncovered evidence that woman may have fabricated her story. Investigative reporter Andy Parati found it led to the arrest of a man who says he is innocent.
536, just confirming you're advising signal 20, front door.
College Park police respond to a home in June 2024.
Oh, thank God.
Hi, how you doing?
After Catherine Jensen says her ex-boyfriend attacked her minutes before they arrived.
So what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out. Tried to get the keys from my hand of my truck.
So mind you, the man is paralyzed, can't move. Now, I give it to them right now, the cops in this situation right now, who knows what's going on, right? There's a domestic violence situation. You gotta check it. You gotta make sure that everything is copacetic. That's not the problem. The problem is what happens later on in this story.
Grabbed you by your neck?
I handled him myself. I'm too small.
You say he kicked the door in?
He did.
Charles Reed is the man Catherine claimed broke into her home and assaulted her.
She said I kicked in the door.
And why is that a problem?
Because I'm in a wheelchair.
This can't, I would say this can't be real, but no, unfortunately we live in a reality where these type of things happen all the time. So let me get this straight. This man has been arrested for kicking a door and he has been paralyzed. How long has he been paralyzed for?
And have been for 25 years.
25 years. So you mean to tell me the officers and the gang, once they realized what's going on, they had to do some investigation. Then they realized that the man can't kick a door in? I mean, think about it. You saw the arrest warrant, maybe checked some of his medical histories. What muscles did he use to kick this door? Was it some kind of psychic foot energy, a telekinetic roundhouse? You think, is this dude Professor X out here throwing around Bruce Lee kicks with his mind? And let's be serious. This right here is how you know the justice system isn't just broken, it's doing backflips off of common sense. And the woman said he ran away on foot. Ran? Have you ever seen someone in a wheelchair? If you have, congratulations, you saw a miracle. And then apparently called it a misdemeanor. Let's be real. If you get attacked by someone in a wheelchair, unless they have some kind of weapon, then you probably may be in some trouble. You still got about 4 or 5 seconds to leave the area and you can still grab a snack on your way out.
Oh, come there.
Charles cannot move his legs. He's paraplegic following an accident when he was a teenager. Andrew Fleischman is Charles' attorney.
She describes that he's of average build.
Tall, short.
Average height.
That he has brown hair, that he's in black clothing.
So all black.
I want to say yes, sir.
But not that he's in a wheelchair. Never mentions it. And that is probably the number one thing you'd mention about somebody.
Especially as they're running away.
On foot.
I guess he took off on foot.
Something's wrong with this woman, and you'll see later on what I'm talking about, but something is wrong with this person. How long will the lie continue? But the problem is these cops aren't that bright. They thought that she was being honest for a very long time.
Charles and Catherine did date, but it was more than 20 years ago. They never kept in touch. He's been married for a decade with a newborn. And the day of the alleged attack, Charles says he was at a dinner party with friends.
Did police contact you at all?
No, not at all. Not a single time.
You didn't get a phone call?
Not a phone call.
You didn't get an email?
Not an email. Not a visit.
No one questioned you about this?
Nope.
This may be the stupidest police department that I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of stupid police departments. So this man Charles wasn't even contacted. No phone call, no text, no visit, nothing. How does this make any sense? This doesn't make any sense. This may be the stupidest police department that I have ever seen.
For 9 months, Charles says he had no clue officers had a warrant out for his arrest for aggravated assault until the federal government alerted him when he tried to renew his passport. So he emailed Officer McKinley Boletti and set up a time to meet at the police department last month.
Then I finally go up there literally knowing absolutely nothing about it. I essentially surrendered myself because I was that innocent.
According to the body camera video, Officer Boletti questioned whether he was actually disabled.
Unfortunately, you do have the warrant out for your arrest, so I'm gonna have to place you into custody.
Is this a joke?
Charles warned the officer putting handcuffs on would likely make him fall because of his paralysis.
This is not being done correctly, right? This is not being done correctly. So he shows up to clear his name because, again, he did not know he had a warrant until he tried to renew his passport. And instead of the cops saying, hey, this looks a little off, they still cuff him, even though he warns him that he could fall because he can't support himself. And you see they're going to still cuff him in a second. I understand that people lie. People lie about their medical history to try to get sympathy or to try to get away from the cops. But if the dude showed up at the police station in the wheelchair, how hard is it to try to verify his medical history? To realize that this man cannot walk? There's ways to verify this. They're police officers. But the fact that he showed up looks like he's confused. I mean, if he was trying to get away with it, he would just not showed up. He would just been on the run. What do you call it? On the lam or something? Or running up? I forgot what they call that. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And obviously, it gets even stupider as we continue.
I'm sitting there literally exactly like this in my chair. And so he handcuffs me and I'm like, hey, like, just FYI, like, I can't move.
I literally can't. I don't have muscle control.
It's too late.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean, I could have broken my hip and died, like, very quickly.
That is so crazy. That is some terrible policing. I mean, as you see, they cuffed him. They watch him face plant onto the floor like he's a bag of potatoes, like he got sniped by gravity itself. This isn't policing. This is laziness and a badge and a belt. Embarrassing. It's kind of just really stupid. But let's check out the police response as he falls on the floor.
How did they respond?
They literally sat there and just watched me writhe on the ground.
The officer still didn't believe Charles was disabled. Neither did his supervisor, who never put his eyes on Charles before saying this.
It's a ruse, man. So, I mean, it's an obvious attempt to not to go to jail.
So
A fellow officer disagreed.
might need to call the district attorney's office, because if the door was kicked in, he didn't kick it in.
Finally, Officer Boletti admits he could be wrong.
Because now it's looking like she might have made a false report.
He started to hurt me about.
This should have been done before they cuffed him and made him fall on the floor. I mean, I understand that they deal with a lot of people who lie. Police officers are dealing with people who lie all the time. But you have to look at some circumstances. The fact that the dude rolled up at the police station. Again, you could check these type of things. It's probably unlikely that this man woke up one day and he said, you know what would be a great alibi for a crime I didn't commit? I'm gonna fake paralysis for 25 years with medical records and a whole ass wheelchair lifestyle to back it up. I mean, that's not a ruse, that's a commitment. I mean, when you really think about it, things are not really connecting. And I guess one person finally connected the dots or something, but it's pretty silly. Who's investigating this? And again, it gets even worse.
March of this year, and
A year before Catherine claimed Charles assaulted her, the Noonan Police Department, about 30 miles away, arrested her for theft and forgery after allegedly filing a false police report claiming someone stole from her.
She got arrested for filing a false police report just 1 year before she started to hit the replay on Charles. How the police didn't check this? They didn't. They didn't check it. They didn't mention it. They didn't care. They just ran with her story. The police doubted Charles's paralysis, but believed her, a known liar on record. That's not just incompetence. That's just bias with a badge. You could have typed her name up onto the system and said, oh snap, she's been booked for lying. But no one even did that. They didn't even contact Charles either. Just inside of us, they didn't contact Charles either to see what his background was. Totally incompetent.
Flashman says officers have access to a state database identifying prior arrests, But Officer Belletti never mentions Catherine's arrest record in the incident report.
I've never seen a case where somebody was so clearly innocent and it would take so little work to establish it and nobody was willing to do the work.
It was a tumultuous relationship.
According to this email obtained by Charles' attorney, Catherine wrote to a College Park police detective this week asking to change her statement, writing, "My mental state and physical trauma in that moment worked to confuse me. Please contact me at your convenience so I can edit the information in the report and clear the name of an innocent man."
How's this impacted you?
Well, I haven't been able to leave my house in a meaningful way in 2 or 3 months, just out of fear that I'll be picked up for an arrest warrant.
Has the police department apologized?
Not a single bit. Haven't heard a word from them. In fact, we've been trying to get into communication with them repeatedly, both me and my lawyer.
Because ultimately, that's all we're asking for, just to be adults. Take responsibility when you make a mistake and try to fix it.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, even that woman with that terrible excuse, "Hey, detective, my mental state confused me. Can I just edit a report?" Hey, listen, lady, you didn't mess up a DoorDash order. You lied about a felony. Now she wants to undo what she put out there. Meanwhile, Charles has been locked down like he's the criminal. He's scared to go outside. That is outrageous.
College Park Police did not respond to repeated requests for comment about this case. We reached out to Catherine Jensen. She also did not respond, but her mother says she now acknowledges Charles did not attack her. Catherine has not been charged in this case.
How she has not been charged? How? After everything, all Charles, like, where's the apology? Where's the press conference? No apology, no press conference, no compensation, just silence. Charles needs to sue. Charles needs to sue big time. The fact that this man has not left his house in months, not because he's guilty, because he's afraid of the people that may have tackled him with handcuffs and ignorance may do it again. And Catherine, she's still out living her life like nothing happened. Probably lying to someone else. This story is proof the system doesn't need a big scandal to fail, just a little indifference, and a lot of people looking the other way. Justice shouldn't require going viral with these kind of stories, but here we are. Let me know in the comments, have you ever heard such a ridiculous, incompetent, crazy story like this? I couldn't believe it, but again, as I cover more and more of these stories, it's becoming more and more jaded that this is the kind of world we live in, unfortunately. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.